Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, gamer boys and girls! Welcome back to the pod. Today I brought something that caught my eyes a long time ago, and it has finally been released. This indie game is none other than Death's Door, Acid Nerve's new action-adventure hack-and-slash game, sprinkled with RPG elements and Souls-like combat. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The game begins with your arrival to an ominous grey black and white hub, which will be your base of operations. After walking through the security gate, you get a quick rundown on your situation. This is where all the world's crows spend their days, you are the ones who reap the souls of this universe, and there is only one rule: you have to acquire the souls assigned to you, no matter what. Reason behind this rule is that all the reapers are immortal, they only age when they are in the real world, outside this purgatory-like office space. As long as you deliver, you won't age. So our little Grimbeaker is tasked with his first soul and goes out to retrieve it. Following a short tutorial, you are already in deep waters facing the demonic forest spirit, your first boss battle. Having defeated your enemy, as you go for the soul, a door opens behind you and you're knocked unconscious. You are doomed. Losing your soul means your clock is ticking and the immortality you were granted by your job is now lost unless you get it back. Thus your journey starts. Core gameplay is all about traveling to different worlds and dimensions, opening new doors to your hub and reaping souls to get back what you have lost. And this brings us to the world Acid Nerves has built. As mentioned before, the office will be your main hub, this grayscale world will be your home, and this is where you will uncover the lore of the crows, and this is also the place where your fellow mates are stationed, and where you will spend the souls you reap to upgrade your skills. When I first saw this game, this is what caught me. The noir feeling this place emanates. It is unfriendly, ethereal, some rooms just float in this void. The first time you are here, the only color you will see is a flashing sign and your sword that emits red light. The whole vibe of this place just gets to you. Also, this is the place where all the doors will be situated. These will serve as portals and fast travel points on your journey. To experience colors, one must leave behind this monochrome office situated in the void and set their tiny feet on the road into the real world. With this genius use of contrast, the game shows where real life truly begins and where the domain of death ends. The world is just as depressing as it is beautiful. The first area after the tutorial is the Lost Cemetery, a graveyard where the sun shines but ever so faded. It perfectly captures the feeling that overwhelms one visiting a lost one on a windy October afternoon. It is spot on. Then there is the Urnwitch's estate region, which consists of 4 parts, and each of these has their own dedicated style. You start in the courtyard with all the benches and nicely mown lawn and bushes, slowly making your way into the mansion where everything is well lit and pristine. From there you head down to the basement with its dusty, decrepit shelves that will connect you to the laboratory, where the smoke escapes the pipes and the fumes the vials. Although you are in the same general area all along, the scenery changes so much that you repeatedly feel like entering a new area. Next up is the overgrown ruins region that is lush and vibrant, plants and vines everywhere, but you'll come across the decay here as well. Ruins, long-forgotten rooms, storages, murky waters and bogs. And the final big area is the Stranded Sailor region, which is a grand journey from the little fishing village up to the Grand Mountains, where towers and a castle nests, and where the beast lives at the summit. All in all, this is a world that will inspire you to explore it, with all of its secrets pulling you in to explore every nook and cranny, resulting in an exciting and fulfilling experience. What's even more satisfying is the fast-paced combat in these areas, on the back of the non-repetitive enemy design, keeping the game feel fresh, and each of the actions having a weighty feel to them. Another big plus is how hyped up you feel when you notice the ominous enemy placement and you know shit's gonna hit the fan pretty soon. This is further supported by the music you hear during these scenes, literal chills down the spine, but I'll get back to this in a minute. Your reaping is made even more colorful by having access to multiple weapons, skills and spells in your arsenal, which all offer a slightly different playstyle. The game isn't as hard as I expected it to be. I'd say the challenge it poses feels well balanced. While I died a handful of times, I wasn't ever frustrated, mainly because after you die a huge title appears with a big bang that says DEATH! And for me that was the funniest thing. There are some random bits where you will be logged into an area and you have to fight waves of enemies. I found these were the hardest parts of the game, as dealing with 1 or 2 enemies at once feels easy, but when there are 6 of them, with projectiles flying all across the screen, while others are attempting to jump on you, well, let's just say I've seen my fair share of death screens. Healing in this game is done at fixed checkpoints where you can plant the seeds you found during your adventures, and if you do so, you can drain them once for a full refill. The core gameplay loop in Death's Door follows that of a hack-and-slash game spiced with Souls-like elements. There are certain points in the game that will halt your progress, for example bosses or closed areas of the map which you can only access after obtaining specific abilities, and your failures or deaths are part of the loop. If unfortunate times like these happen, you will be teleported back to your last checkpoint, the last open door, but you won't lose your souls you have collected. I've seen others describe this game as a roguelike, but I beg to differ, as Death's Door lacks certain elements that define the roguelike genre for me, such as procedurally generated maps, permadeath and lasting progression between multiple runs. So back to the previously mentioned music. My god, the second I heard the music in the menu, I had to Google who was the composer. I wasn't familiar with David Fenn, but damn, this man knows how to write music. It really adds to the beauty and mysticality of the game. All the melancholic piano songs, the heavier pieces and the epic combinations of piano, choral and electric guitar are simply mind-blowing. Fun fact, a couple of songs reminded me of Moonlighter's music, and turns out this very man worked on it as well. So David, if this video ever reaches you, you did great, massive respect to you, kind sir. The other big plus for me was the story. I'm a sucker for great stories, and I was amazed by how this game expresses actual feelings. Joy, sadness, regret, melancholy, and fear. I was blown away by it. Mark Foster and Graham Goering made sure I would fall for this game twice. Once in the first 15 minutes at this very point. Oh, that's so cool. Wow, I love this. I really love this. And then when I realized that there is so much more than meets the eye when it comes to the characters. In this game, all the bosses are trying to cheat death for a reason beyond just being baddies. For example, the witch who tries to cheat death not only for herself but gets more than she bargained for. Or the Frog King, who thinks by becoming powerful he can strike a deal with death. Similarly, whenever you meet other long-lost reapers, well, at least their souls, they will tell you about their regrets or long-lost wishes. Although the game is very joyful, even elevated by the occasional great jokes, there's this underlying tone revolving around death and mortality, and how these are essential parts of life, and they can't be cheated no matter what, and one has no choice but to deal with this. This just made this game all the more precious to me, and it is paced so perfectly as well. I applaud the whole team for this. Finally, let's talk about performance. It ran flawlessly, no frame drops, no stuttering, even during high intensity fights. My experience was almost bug-free, there were only 2 occasions I came across issues. Once I got stuck between some urns, but luckily the enemy was kind enough to give me a nudge, and another time I dodged into a boss and the hit didn't register, or at least I felt it should have. Apart from these 2, in my experience quality of delivery is 10 out of 10. Overall, this game is absolutely fantastic. One of the best indie titles I have played in the last couple of years. It is beautifully crafted, fun to play, and a true joy to experience. If you are into hack-and-slash games or Souls-likes, I strongly recommend you try it out. For me, it was an incredible journey, one I'm glad I had the opportunity to experience. So, what do you guys think? Did you already play this game, or after seeing this video, do you want to? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it helps us immensely, and hit that subscribe button so you will be notified about future videos like this. Again, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Escape Pod out.